Hey guys, Nathan here, 24 Chambers of Film. Today we're going to be talking about one of the best splatter films of all time, The Toxic Avenger.
The Toxic Avenger is coming to your town. Look out.
The 1984 Toxic Avenger is a classic that has stood the test of time, in my opinion. When it was made, it got the job done. It pushed the boundaries. It became Trauma Entertainment's uh, most successful film. And for those not familiar with Trauma Entertainment, it is a company that makes movies that pushes the boundaries. Start off with sex coms, and they went on to horror comedies, but they're violent, they're gory, they're not what you see in regular Hollywood. They push the envelope not only with their blood and gore, but with their jokes and all that kind of stuff. And they've been around for quite some time now. And they actually just remade the Toxic Avenger in 2023, and it's being released in August of 2025. The thing is, it took 2 years, I guess, for them to get distribution because apparently, from everything I read, the film was so violent and gory that it was difficult for them to get the distribution they were looking for. Which, if anything, tells me that they didn't change their ways and they're still doing things how they did back in the day, which is pretty awesome that they haven't folded to the way things have shifted, right? And they have they made several Toxic Avengers. We're talking about the main one, the 1984 one today, which was the original. And for those not familiar with Toxic Avenger, it's basically a movie about a nerdy janitor at a gym in a town called Traumaville, and he is basically bullied and picked on, and then ends up falling into a batch of toxic and gets mutated, and then becomes a Toxic Avenger and starts fighting crime. Now, for me, funny little story here, I didn't know about the Toxic Avenger, like the movie itself, first. What I knew about was the Toxic Crusaders, which was a cartoon based on the Toxic Avenger. Crazy to think that a cartoon for kids was based off of the adults, splatter film, the Toxic Avenger. Kind of weird how that ended up happening. I even had some of the action figures that they released back then, and I would watch the cartoon. So one day we're at the video store, and I see the movie The Toxic Avenger. I had no clue what it really was. I'm thinking, it's like Toxic Crusaders, right? And so my mom rented for me, didn't even bother looking that it was rated R or anything like that. And then we get home, we put it in, and man, she pulled that thing out pretty fast because, pretty pretty fast he started catching all the adult humor. Titties start flying, and yeah, she wasn't having it. So I didn't get to watch it back when I was a kid. I had to wait till I was, you know, a teenager to get to watch it. And then I recently watched it again because I wanted to get a little refresher for this video. And it's actually streaming on Peacock. And damn, that movie still holds up, still is entertaining, and it looks really good. I don't know if it's been remastered, reformatted, whatever, but it looks great on Peacock. So I recommend, if you can watch it on there, go ahead and watch it. As far as the movie itself, Trauma Entertainment, pushed boundaries 100%. And Toxic Avenger was created by Lloyd Kaufman, and the film was directed by Kaufman and Michael Hurst. And when they created this, the violence is over the top. The jokes push boundaries. Back then, I don't think the jokes pushed the boundaries that they would today, but it was definitely it's basically poking fun at everything, right? Like nothing is off limits, and it works so well. And even for and I don't want to call the action and violence campy, but even for it being over the top, it just looks, well, it looks great, and it works perfectly in this movie. So the main character for this is Melvin, and Melvin his name is Melvin Ferd Junko III, and he is a health club janitor, and he's constantly bullied by Bozo and his buddy Slug and their girlfriends Wanda and Julie. And what happens is they are just piles of crap, 100%. And they at one point, like Bozo is just like a complete buffoon. Like the smallest things irritate him, and the acting for Bozo is so good. The guy that played him nailed it perfectly, and it just worked like so well. And the acting is over the top, and it's like a it's a masterful performance because I'm sure when they said this is what we want it to be like, he nailed it. Like it's just it kind of reminds me of have you ever watched Power Rangers, Bulk and Skull? It reminds me of Skull somewhat. And that's the best comparison I could think that's a little bit more mainstream. But he was played by an actor named Gary Schneider. And man, the guy nailed it 100%. So they basically trick Melvin into thinking he's going to make out with Julie. And I don't remember if it's Julie or Wanda, but it's Bozo's girlfriend, and she gets him to put on a pink tutu, and then they make him, close his eyes and ends up kissing a sheep, and he gets embarrassed, and he flies out the second story window, and lands into this toxic, as I mentioned previously. And so he gets deformed and looks all grotesque, and his mother doesn't want him at home because she doesn't realize it's him at first. And so he basically sets up a camp at the junkyard. And he starts fighting crime. Traumaville, which is a town, is run by a corrupt mayor who has his hands in all sorts of illegal activities. And as he goes and he's fighting crime, there's a blind lady at this restaurant, and her dog gets killed by these bad guys. And after he saves everyone, he basically falls in love with her. She can't see how grotesque he looks, and they form this bond. And it's a love story, right? It's your typical love story. No, I'm just kidding. But eventually what ends up happening is as he continues to fight crime and their relationship gets strong, he kills a lady that he's only killing bad people. He's not hurting anyone who's good. He even saved a cop in the very beginning, like in his first time he fights some bad guys, he saves a cop. So he kills this lady, and everyone says that he killed an innocent person, but what really happened is he killed a lady who was involved in the white slave trade. And that's the kind of shit, that's the kind of jokes that they're pushing, all right? But the mayor hides this information so he could get everyone to turn against the Toxic Avenger. Eventually, the truth comes out, and like the National Guard gets deployed and everything, and people turn on the mayor, and everyone realizes, that the Toxic Avenger is a good guy. So you know, he ends up winning at the end. And the movie, the reason, splatter films are supposed to be over the top, right? When I don't know what the intention was when this came out, like as far as did they want people to think it was just a joke? Did they want people to take it seriously? Did they just want to poke fun at people, at like what's going on, like stereotypes and things like that? And just be a good comedy that's over the top and appeals to a certain audience, which is kind of what I'm guessing. But man, they pulled it off perfectly, in my opinion. I mean, obviously it worked because it was their most successful film. It went on to get a video game. It had a cartoon for kids, for crying out loud, and then had action figures and just a bunch of other stuff. Spawned like 3 other sequels. And again, if you watch it now, I think it's just as entertaining, maybe even better now because of how it looks with on a HD TV than it probably did back in the day. And I think 100% holds up, and it holds to the test of time. And it's kind of one of those movies that it has its cult following, but I feel like a lot of people haven't seen it. Now, it might not be for everyone. Like straight up, it might not be for everyone. But if you have a sense of humor and you like stuff that's different, I think this is a film for you, 100%. Now, when this new one comes out, I'm definitely gonna watch it. Not be more because I want to see. See, I personally I feel like the new one might not work as well as the old one worked when it came out because the effects and stuff they used, like for this being a low budget movie and all that, like it still looked good. Now with the new one coming out, the trailer that I saw, like I don't think it looks as good as the original. Honestly, just the look of the Toxic Avenger, um, the mop, like with the little glowing thing in the new one. I just, it's almost like I think this one is going to be too campy, but they've earned my, they've earned the ability to be given the benefit of the doubt. Trauma Entertainment has earned the ability to be given the benefit of the doubt because again, they've done great. They did great with Toxic Avenger and even Toxic Avenger 2, 3, and 4, right? Like those were okay. Nothing's gonna top the original, but those were okay. And you know, they had other films, Romeo and Juliet, things like that, Nukem High, Class of Nukem High, right, that they did that was that is, you know, that is just as good. Nah, I don't okay. My personal favorite is Toxic Avenger. Okay. I have nothing against any of the other ones that I just mentioned. They're good. They are what you expect, but they do not to me live up to the Toxic Avenger. And maybe that's just because again, as a kid, I got very interested because again, I went to the video store based on a cartoon that I was seeing, and then I wasn't able to see it. So it always became this thing until I got older and was finally able to see it. And I was like, it lived up to what I was expecting. I wish I had seen it when I was a kid, you know? So, but because they put out these movies that, and they've done it on their own terms and they've all been, you know, for the most part, they've all been great. They have other stuff that I haven't seen that just seems to go, you know, maybe not be as good as the ones that I mentioned, but they've gained the benefit of the doubt for me. So I'm definitely gonna be watching the new Toxic Avenger when it comes out. I hope it lives up to the legacy of the original Toxic Avenger. Um, and like I said, it's supposed to be a splatter film. It's supposed to be over the top violence. And when they did the 1984 one, man, they pulled that off well. And it's just a freaking good time. So if you're looking to, you know, kill an hour and 30 minutes, haven't you're just looking for something you haven't seen, something you probably never thought of, or you're just having trouble finding any type of movie, you're willing to give this a shot. Again, it's not for I don't think it's for everyone. Um, but if you go to into this with somewhat of an open mind and understand it for what it is, I don't think you'll be disappointed. So I'd love to know what you guys think about one, Toxic Avenger, the 1984 version. Do you think it was great? Like, what was your experience with it? Again, my I think my experience is a bit unique because I came from the cartoon to the movie, and I was thinking cartoon, and then it was something completely different, right? Are you excited for the 2023 remake? Well, 2023, technically 2025, because as now it's getting released worldwide, right? It only had like its debut at like one or two festivals or something like that, from what I read in 2023. And what do you think about the trailer? Have you seen the trailer for the new one? And what do you think about Peter Dinklage? Actually, the new one actually has a pretty good cast. It's got Peter Dinklage as the Toxic Avenger, right? It's got Kevin Bacon and Elijah Wood in it. I mean, it's a pretty good cast if you ask me. Not something I never expected the Toxic Avenger to be known, to have a cast like, I mean, Kevin Bacon, Elijah Wood, you know, even Peter Dinklage, like just that came completely out of left field when I saw that. So it's definitely going to be, in my opinion, something entertaining to watch. And in case you're wondering, the actual release date is August 29th, 2025. And it's yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see Toxie in this new form. So I'd love to hear what you guys think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Toxic Avenger. Again, for me, this movie, it holds a just it has some funny memories for me. So I think I might place it a little bit higher than most people, but I still will tell you this. It holds the test of time. If you look at it, yeah, it's a 1984 film, but a lot of those effects that they did, they still look good nowadays. I mean, I've seen movies that come out in the 2000s whose effects don't look as good as that, and they probably had a way bigger budget than the Toxic Avenger did. So would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'm Nathan. This is 24 Chambers of Film. Until next time.